Episode 8. The mere mention of the iron body art made Zhang Tai roll his eyes in frustration. Zhang Tai had practically developed a phobia of the elephant armor technique. He'd only reached the first level, but Dr. Mo's training had him groaning in agony.
Not only did I have to soak in that foul-smelling medicinal brew at the same time every single day, but Dr. Mo would also beat me with a wooden stick every now and then, claiming it was to temper my bones and muscles. For a while there, I couldn't sleep at night. My whole body was red and swollen. Just touching the bed made me grit my teeth in pain. It was a total nightmare.
That sounds awful. The cultivation method I practice is pretty tedious too.
What's so bad about boring? That nameless mantra you're practicing is so much better. All you have to do is sit and meditate like a monk every day. I'm seriously jealous.
Well, it's tough for everyone.
Han Li could understand Zhang Tai's fear of the later stages of the iron armor art. Anyone who knows they'll have to endure torments many times worse than before would be restless and unable to eat or sleep. Han Li was deeply impressed that Zhang Tai had held on this long without giving up. If it were him, he'd never practice such a self-torturing martial art. Even if it could make him a top-tier master overnight, his view would remain the same. As they talked, they finished their dinner.
I'll head off now. Get some rest, and let that foot heal up.
Han Li stood at the door, watching the other leave. Then he hurried back inside, shut the door and windows tight, leaving only a single vented skylight open. Only then did he pull the bottle from his bag and begin studying it again. After all, Han Li was just a 10-year-old boy. He fiddled with it for a while, but seeing no clear answers, he grew bored. With his injured foot and weary mind, he soon found himself leaning against the bed, the bottle still in his hand. Han Li was sleeping soundly when, after who knows how long, a sudden icy chill shot up from one of his hands. Han Li jolted awake with a shiver. He forced his leaden eyelids open and peered groggily at the hand that was causing the strange sensation. The moment he looked, he shot upright in bed, his jaw hanging slack. He didn't even notice the drool trickling from the corner of his mouth. All traces of sleepiness vanished, and he was utterly transfixed by the sight before him.
Threads of visible white light descended through the room's single open skylight, all converging on the bottle in his hand. They formed tiny rice grain-sized points of white light, enveloping the entire bottle in a thin, swirling layer of pale radiance.
The white light was very soft, not dazzling in the least, and that icy cold sensation was emanating from this faint, pale glow. Han Li jolted awake, flinging the bottle away as if it were scalding hot and scrambling to the other side of the room. Han Li watched cautiously for a while. Seeing no apparent danger, he carefully approached once more. Bathed in the white light, the bottle looked exceptionally beautiful and alluring. With an air of mystery, Han Li hesitated for a moment, poking the bottle lightly with his finger. Seeing no reaction, he carefully picked it up again. He placed the bottle on the table and leaned in close, eagerly observing this wondrous spectacle he had never seen before. Han Li stared, unblinking and utterly focused, at the bottle within the white light for over a quarter of an hour. Finally, he managed to discern a few of its secrets. The bottle was continuously absorbing the white specks of light drifting nearby, right through its surface. No, it's not absorbing them. It's the light specks themselves, desperately squeezing into the bottle, each one scrambling to get in first, as if they were alive. Han Li was curious. He gently touched one of the light specks with his fingertip. It felt cool, but otherwise, there was nothing special about it. Han Li looked up. Countless white threads of light were still falling ceaselessly from the skylight, showing no sign of stopping. Han Li looked at the sealed doors and windows all around, then glanced up at the open skylight. An idea struck him. He gently pushed the door open and peered cautiously outside. Good. It was late at night. The only sounds were a few lonely autumn insects. Outside, all was quiet and still, with not a soul in sight. Han Li pulled his head back, grabbed the little bottle, and tucked it into his belt. He then dashed out, not stopping until he reached a secluded, wide-open spot where no one was around. Han Li swept his gaze around the area, making sure no one else was truly there. Only then did he carefully take the bottle out again and gently set it on the ground. The specks of light that had been near the bottle vanished without a trace after it was tucked into his belt. Sure enough,
After a short while, threads of light converged from all directions. Then, countless points of white light densely materialized around the small bottle, coalescing into a massive, basin-sized sphere of radiance.
Looks like my hypothesis was correct. Thoughtful. The sealed doors and windows block the bottle's ability to draw in the white light threads. It's only in an open, unobstructed space that the bottle can attract them more effectively. I still don't know where these light filaments come from, or what the bottle gains by absorbing them. But this is a huge step forward in solving the mystery.
Han Li felt he was on the verge of unlocking the bottle's secret, and that filled him with a surge of exhilaration.
He waited until the sky was nearly light before the glow around the bottle gradually faded, returning it to its bottleneck. Throughout this time, Han Li kept a close watch on the bottle's transformation, all while staying vigilant to ensure no one else discovered what was happening here. He bent down to pick up the bottle and inspected it. It was no different than before, and the lid was still stubbornly sealed shut.
Han Li was disappointed. Seeing it was getting late, he reluctantly put the bottle away.
He still had to get back to the stone chamber to meditate and cultivate. For the next several nights, at a fixed hour, the same phenomenon would occur. Countless threads of light, like moths to a flame, were drawn to the bottle. They would then transform into a multitude of tiny light specks, which the bottle greedily devoured. Just as Han Li thought this phenomenon would continue to occur with the bottle every day, something else changed on the 8th day. When Han Li arrived at the usual spot and placed the bottle down, the phenomenon of absorbing light points lasted for only a brief half-quarter of an hour before it stopped. Then the bottle's dark green pattern suddenly emitted a dazzling green light, and several golden characters and symbols shimmered into view on its surface. The strange characters were fluid in structure, with peculiar strokes that held an indescribable archaic charm. They shimmered and danced across the bottle's surface. But this bizarre phenomenon lasted only an instant before vanishing, leaving behind a few raised, strange golden characters on the bottle's surface. It seemed everything had returned to its starting point. After the strange events of the past few days involving the bottle, Han Li was no longer as easily startled by these bizarre phenomena.
Even stranger things happening to this bottle wouldn't faze him now. He picked up the bottle with casual confidence, instinctively trying to twist the cap off. To my surprise, the cap came off the bottle with a gentle, effortless twist.
Han Li stared at the lid in his hand, unable to believe it. I solved it just like that? No effort, no special trick. This huge problem that stumped me for days, gone in an instant.
Once Han Li confirmed what had happened was real, and the bottle's secret was laid bare before his very eyes, he could no longer contain his excitement. He leaned in, pressing his eye to the bottle's mouth to peer inside.
Inside the bottle, a single drop of emerald green liquid, about the size of a soybean, drifted slowly. It cast a soft, greenish glow across the entire inner surface.
What is this? All that effort for such a useless thing.
He sealed the bottle cap, put it away in his leather pouch, and turned to head back to his quarters. All that excitement and fervor from a moment ago had completely vanished into thin air. All he needed to do now was go back and get a good night's sleep to make up for the lost rest. For the past few nights, he hadn't been able to sleep properly. This had drastically lowered his daytime training efficiency, and his listlessness had even drawn some inquiries from Dr. Mo. Ever since Han Li became Dr. Mo's personal disciple and broke through the first layer of the mantra, he felt he'd lost all motivation to practice it. The results were so disappointing, he simply couldn't muster the energy to cultivate.
Dr. Mo had given him a severe scolding for this. Yet, when it came time to practice, he was still drowsy and listless, utterly devoid of energy.
This situation was driving Dr. Mo up the wall, making him wonder if he'd chosen the wrong disciple.
I don't want to be like this either, but I'm just not in the right state.
For every level you advance in this cultivation technique, I'll double your monthly stipend.
Dr. Mo had seen Han Li's thirst for wealth and found the perfect solution. With one simple promise, he had chained the boy to the grindstone of relentless cultivation. In the days that followed, Han Li threw himself into his cultivation, desperate to master the next layer of the mantra. From dawn to noon, and from noon to dusk, He would enter the stone chamber twice daily for meditation, immersing himself in this monotonous, grinding routine. Everything else was pushed to the back of his mind to ensure Han Li could focus on his cultivation without any outside distractions. Dr. Mo temporarily sealed off the entire God-Hand Valley. He even conducted his medical consultations outside the valley and took care of all Han Li's daily needs for food, clothing, and supplies, so the boy wouldn't have to worry about a thing. The matter of the bottle was gradually forgotten by Han Li.